Happy Friday. Hope you're having a great weekend coming up. We've got some plans. Those Ducks got the Huskies. So, we got a big game coming up this weekend. Wanted to reach out to you today. Yesterday, we've been waiting for November 10th for months. And my industry has been watching that. And again, I watch Barry Habib. And because he's been spot on. So, it's incredible. And so, it's great information for you and me to be able to get to our clients as well as stay on the front leading edge of information of what's relevant to our industries. Got a video. It's a little bit longer. It's about 4 minutes long, but it's absolutely worth your time. And I would be curious to hear back from you. Would you prefer me kind of just going over and highlighting what Barry talks about, or do you prefer just for me to be playing the video like I've been doing the last couple weeks? Give me your thoughts. So let's listen to Barry again, about 4 minutes or so, but absolutely worth your time, and it's going to affect your industry and your paycheck. So take a listen.
For you. So, yeah, CPI, October 22. We got that today. This is the drop we told you was coming. Let's break down the numbers first. So the headline number was up 0.4%, and the year over year did indeed drop from 8.2 to 7.7. But the all important core rate, that's the one that the Fed's most concerned with because it takes away food and energy, which the Fed does not have influence over. That was up only 0.3%. And that caused the year over year number to drop from 6.6 to 6.3. Now, there were really drops just about everywhere. Just about everywhere, this report showed declines, except for shelter. Now, that's a really good thing because shelter is extraordinarily lagging. We've talked with you about this in the past. The way that it works is shelter really lags. But when we break down shelter, which we do, and nobody's done this, by the way. If you look, no one's talking about this number. After we show you this stuff, it'll get out there and people will copy it and whatnot like they always do. But here's what happened. Shelter was up 0.8% for the month. Okay, that's pretty stiff, right? And this was the big driver because in core CPI, it's 39.3%. So even with shelter being up 0.8%, at almost 40% of the weighting, we still were only up 0.3. So everything else was really down, right? But hold on a second. Rents were up 0.7. And then the big one here, owner's equivalent rent, which is like 3-to-1 compared to rent, it was up 0.6. So how in the world is this up 0.8? How? Well, here's why. It's because of something called lodging away from home. And it was crazy. It was up 4.9% for October. Had it not been for this, we would have gotten an even lower CPI print by another tenth. This would have been up 0.2%, and this would be 6.2 instead of 6.6. And with a 0.2% number, which it should have been, we would have a real, I mean, we're having a celebration, but it would be even better than what we've got right now. But I want to show you, we call it crazy, right? Here's why we call it crazy. And again, no one does this, team. So please, when you talk about this stuff, you're going to be on the cutting edge because nobody's talking about this. Look at this chart for lodging away from home. I mean, heck, if a cardiologist saw this, they'd be like, let's get you to the hospital. This is crazy. Look at how wildly this number swings. And here's where we are for October of 2022. If it were down here, which we were just a few months ago, you would have had like flat CPI month over month, or maybe up only 0.1. But if it were flat here, as I mentioned to you, that CPI number would have been much better. So this is the key for us here, is that this was a crazy print. So it's got to be very, very encouraging that even with this craziness and this lodging, which can have wild swings, as you can see, we still came in with a favorable number. And that's what we are been hoping for. Now, when we take a look, I'm going to continue to show you this because let's take a look at a broader view now. So when we take a look at what to expect going forward, here's why we were so happy about getting to November 10th. And when we told you that our whole world's going to change and rates are going to be better next year and coming down, here's why. We've shown you this so many times, and boy, has this come to fruition. Again, nobody does this stuff. We're the only ones who talk about this. Remember in the spring when we told you it's going to be a brutal summer? It's because the 2021 inflation numbers were so low and the 2022 numbers that replaced it were higher. But then we said when we get to November 10th, we get October of 2022, to replace October 2021. And the numbers that we see here that will begin to be replaced are elevated numbers. And with all of the Fed hikes, this is what the Fed hikes do: is Fed hikes slow things down, cool things off, cool inflation. So Fed hikes help mortgage rates. It helps kill inflation. And when we see this eventually corral inflation, like we're starting to see here in October, and remember, it would be lower if it wasn't for that stupid lodging away from home craziness. It would even be a lower number here. Well, it replaces 6/10, and that's why we went from 6.6 to 6.3, and that's why you have this celebration in the bond market. But hey, look at what's ahead. Elevated numbers. We should continue to get lower numbers. In January, the shelter costs will start to come down. That's where we get over that peak, and you'll start to see an acceleration. So we should start to see some really good numbers here, team. It is not out of the question in the first half of the year to see rates in that 5% arena, maybe a little bit above, maybe a little bit below it, but good times are ahead, folks. So I want you to stay optimistic out there. Now, we did get some other news, and Jake, please tell us about that, because that also...
All right. Well, that's good news. So hopefully that helps you, give you a little insight what's going on in our industries. We know it's tough out there. And, the reality is if we just need to stay in the battle. And if we can survive it, when we survive it, right? Until probably we're thinking March to May, somewhere in there, rates are going to be back. Because here's what else is happening. You're having people that right now that would normally be out there buying real estate, they're not. So that's creating a pent-up demand. And so once rates get down, we're thinking 5-ish range is where we feel people are going to feel it's more acceptable. That little dam's going to break, and we're going to get busy. So it's tough now. I get it. It's going to be a lean holiday season for probably a lot of people, but hang in there, stay the course, and keep your stiff upper lip and stay in the battle, because it's going to be a good thing. So hopefully that helps. You have a great weekend. If I can help you, please let me know. And respond to me if you like it, if I would rather highlight or you watch a little video from Barry. So have a great one. Talk to you soon.